Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about Taylor Swift and Post Malone's video Fortnight, which is, in my humble opinion, a coded message to the Dungeons and Dragons community. The video contains so it functions as a regular. The world is split into the Muggle world and the Wizard world now. Muggles are people who they don't engage with genre material, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to the post office, and they say things like, hey, did you do the grout in your bathroom? Like just like things that people who do Dungeons and Dragons just never, sentences we never say. Like it's just not what we do, right? We're not engaged with the physical Muggle world. We don't like grout our bathroom or ridiculous things like that. We leave those tasks for other people while we build worlds, right? So Fortnite does serve as a Muggle music video, right? And literally millions of people have interacted with it as though that's what it is, right? And a cake has a layer of icing on the top. It's part of the cake, but that's not that's not all of the cake, right? In fact, there's a lot more under the layer of icing, right? So what Fortnite really is it contains three things. It contains a whole bunch of data, of coded data that says this video is specifically about Dungeons and Dragons. Then, and that's there to get you to understand this video, okay, I want you to start thinking about Dungeons and Dragons. You're watching a Taylor Swift Post Malone video, but there's all these clues that this is nothing but Dungeons and Dragons, right? And then there is the coded message, which I already explained. And finally, there's the reason Taylor Swift did a video containing coded data about Dungeons and Dragons, and then a coded message to the Dungeons and Dragons community. And then in the video, there's the reason why. Like, why is she doing this, right? And so my apologies. This is part of a playlist. If you're lost and you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to catch up in the playlist. Link below. There's a link below for the video itself. There's a link below for the playlist that this is in, and you have to watch this video in sequence. Apologies, I try not to do this too often, but you got homework if you want to understand this. If you're all caught up with me, let's go. All right. So, what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about coded data that is telling the viewer, hey, pay attention. This isn't a Muggle music video. That's for the Muggles. There's something here for you, the wizard, right? And that is, and then Taylor Swift talks about the difficulty of being a actual IRL person when you are a Dragon Master. Okay, so first of all, let me define Dragon Master. Dragon Master is the term I use for Dungeons and Dragons player. I find Dungeons and Dragons player to be an offensive term for many reasons, so I use the term Dragon Master. Whenever I say Dragon Master, any other channel would just say Dungeons and Dragons player there, right? All right. So she's a Dragon Master, and she's saying, hey, I make my player characters just like you do, right? And she's saying, I make my player characters just like you do, but this is difficult, right? And so the beginning of the video has something that is very specific, right? And what is that specific information that she is putting in there, right? Specifically, she is saying, the video starts and Taylor Swift is lying on a bed, okay? The bed is just bars. There's no mattress. Also, the bed is askew. It's just hanging off the wall, okay? And she is in an asylum room, okay? And basically, they make it very clear. They make a whole bunch of things clear about Taylor Swift in this first image, right? In the Fortnite video, past the placard card that says Fortnite, right? And so let's dig into what's actually happening on screen and what occurs, okay? All right, so let's dig in. All right, here we go. So she is in an asylum. She's laying on a bed, and she's chained to that bed, right? However, she is being given everything she needs. She looks very healthy, right? She looks like she's not been, nothing that she needs has been denied her. She has food, she has clothing, she has water, right? She has safety, right? She's completely cordoned off from any kind of dangers, and she's also uh, provided palliative substances. What do I mean by palliative substances? Something to keep her calm, right? And everything that's being done is to make her forget and to make her to have everything she needs to survive, but make sure that she's not thinking too much. That's the entire structure, right? And I think what Taylor Swift is saying there is she's like, hey, before Dungeons and Dragons, this is what the world did with our people. So Taylor Swift is saying, hey, this whole video, she's explaining that she's a dragon master, she's making tons of character sheets, and she's engaging as a dragon master, right? But this part of the video, which is the first part, right, which is saying exactly what she's in there, and essentially she's explaining how she actually engages with the world, right? And the way she engages with the world is she is engaging with the world in a way. She's explaining that previously, before Dungeons and Dragons, right? And that's where it is sequentially in the video, that society was saying, hey, you're gonna have food, you're gonna have water, right? You're gonna have clothing, you're gonna be relatively safe, right? But you're not gonna have a lot of freedom, and you're not gonna have a lot of expression, right? And we're gonna do a lot to make you forget, like, this yearning for more, right? Now, what is the yearning for more that Taylor Swift is addressing within the video, right? It's that 30 worlds. It's seeing the sunrise on 30 worlds. And that's where we've landed today. Dragon Masters, you jump into these campaigns, you play campaign after campaign after campaign after campaign. You have identity after identity after identity. You are setting these layers within yourself, and each layer is a set of emotion, thought, faith, experience, right? Preferences, attributes, physical attributes. Each one of these identities is very real. And basically the first part of the video is her saying, this is what the world did with people with imagination before Dungeons and Dragons. It was just like, hey, sit over there in the corner on the bars, and we're going to lock you down, and we're going to make sure that you really don't think too much, you don't wonder too much, you don't wander too much, you're locked down, right? And you're going to get enough to live by, right? And everything will be fed except your intellect, your emotions, and your spirit, right? Your body will be fed, and you will be safe, and you will be clothed, and you'll have water and food, but that's it, right? And so and then there's a part in the video where she's literally freed, right? And at that point, she has some mobility, and she can kind of get out of that room, right? And that's the part where she begins to create these character sheets. And then we see the character sheets in the video when her and the dungeon master are together, and the swirl, like the cyclone of character sheets are swirling around her, right? And then we see that cyclone of character sheets kind of settle in and fall and create a perfect portrait of herself, and that's the entire point of the video, is saying, hey, the entire point of Dungeons and Dragons is to see ourselves. 300 character sheets are the way we actually see ourselves, right? So I was really spectacularly impressed with how great a picture Taylor Swift did of, like, showing the before, February 6, 1974. The video shows February 6, 1974, no Dungeons and Dragons. Then it shows February 7, 1974, Dungeons and Dragons and Dragon Masters are free. In my humble opinion, that's what Taylor Swift's and Post Malone's Fortnight is showing. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part's when I hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.